Hey everybody, welcome to this video. Evil Twins just came out in Duel Links, and I've been having a blast with them. I've seen a lot of people building the deck incorrectly though, and it's actually quite an easy deck to build, so I thought I'd make this video to show you how to make the perfect Evil Twins deck based on the collection that you personally own. So to start off with, I'm just going to duel against an NPC, just to show you what the deck wants to do if it's not impeded by any opponents. So we'll be using this deck here, and don't worry about the deck list, I'll get to that a bit later. But for now, let's just duel against Meg here, and I'll just show you what the deck is trying to do, so then when I talk about the deck list, you have some context for why we're making certain decisions.
I love a good challenge. Come on! Duel! I'm coming at I said I end my turn.
So Evil Twins really wants to destroy any of the twins. We've got Kisikil here, and the blue one is called Lila. We just call them pink or blue. So you summon pink or blue, and then their effect triggers, which summons their counterpart from the hand or deck. So we'll get, we've got pink and blue in the field. Now we link both of them into either pink or blue. In this case I'll show you blue, but I'll go into a bit more detail of why you want to go into certain ones when we get to deck building. Once you've summoned one of them, you activate its effect to bring back the other color main deck monster from your graveyard. And now you've got both pink and blue on the field again. You make the color that you didn't make the first time. So we made blue first, and now we make pink. We use Pink's effect to bring back this time the Link monster blue. And the Evil Twins trigger when they're special summoned if you control their counterpart at the same time that they're summoned. Blue triggers here because we control pink, and blue lets us destroy a card. So we'll destroy that card, set a card, activate the skill, gain a bunch of life. We'll be able to use this when we have link rating 3 or more, which basically means when we've got 2 of our twins. And we can't OTK them with this board or what's in our hand, so we set up for the next turn by consolidating both of our twins back into the pink one. And the reason for this will be made clear in my opponent's next turn, but for now let's just do some damage and pass the turn. So the Evil Twins can use their effects to revive their counterpart from the graveyard, but they can only do it during the main phase. If you only have one twin in play and you have a valid target in the GUI, the game will automatically let you know that the end phase is coming, the end of the main phase is coming up. So we use this prompt to use pink to summon blue back, and then blue triggers again because we have pink in play, and we can destroy a card on the field. Importantly now, since we're still in the main phase, I can activate this Ballista Squad to get a bonus effect, but I just want to demonstrate something else too, so make sure to turn your toggle on. Now that both twins are in play, the game will not tell you that you're going to end the main phase. So you have to have toggle on for it to bring up this prompt again. And we want to stay in the main phase, so we can activate this Ballista Squad, which will tribute a monster, will tribute pink, to destroy a card on the field. And now, because we're still in the main phase, we can use blue to revive pink, and get pink's effect because blue is in play. And pink's effect is to draw a card. So we just got some bonus advantage that way. If you have both twins in play, or one twin that can revive the other twin, basically if you get to a board state where you have both twins in play, you can use any normal summon such as this DD Crow, make a Link 3, or make Unicorn, why not? Let's not use the effect here, but if we did use the effect it would be co-linked, so we'd get to draw a card as well. Use blue, revive pink again, draw a card, set some back row, and go for lethal. And notice this is 4400, so this would work if they're at full life as well. You can't normally do it your first turn though, because you need to normally use your normal summon to get off your twins. So that's what the deck wants to do if it's completely uninterrupted. Some things to take away from there. We had 2 of the pink twin in our opening hand, and that second twin was a dead card. So what is our ideal opening hand? It's quite a simple deck to put together because it has very simple requirements. We want 1 starter card, which is either the pink twin, the blue twin, a card which will summon one of the twins, such as Live Twin Home, or a card which can find one of those pieces, such as Secret Password. So we have 4 possible cards that we can use as starters. We want our opening hand to be exactly 1 starter, and the other 3 cards to all be disruptive cards. If Evil Twins get both of their Link monsters into play, either on the field or in the graveyard, with at least one of them on the field, it's quite hard to lose from that position. You draw 2 cards in your turn, because you draw 1 naturally and 1 from Pink's effect, and you draw 1 card in your opponent's turn, because 1 from Pink's effect as well. So every turn cycle you're drawing 3 cards, which is pretty crazy, and if every single one of those cards is disruption, your opponent just can't make any impactful plays, and that's how you win, even though your monsters only have 1100 attack. So the question becomes, if we want to draw exactly 1 twin, what is the correct number of, well, exactly 1 starter, which is a twin or a card which gets us to a twin. How many starters do we want to play in our deck? And so, to help with that, I've created a handy dandy little spreadsheet. It looks pretty ugly, again, not very good at graphic design, but it gets the job done. So what this spreadsheet does is we pop in our deck size and our opening hand size, which when we're playing Duel Links, we want minimum size deck of 20, and we start with 4 cards in our opening hand. And then here we say we're going to do this in the context of starters. So this table is saying if a hand contains exactly 0 starters, how bad is it? If it has 1 starter, how bad is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 don't make sense in the context of Duel Links. So in this case, if a hand contains exactly 0 starters, that is 100% bad. That is the worst possible opening. We have, I'd say, about a 50% chance to win if we have 0 starters. If we have 0 starters, then our entire hand is going to be disruption, apart from 1 exception, because the whole deck is made of starters and disruption, mostly. And so that disruption might allow us to survive to draw into a starter, but that doesn't always happen. So 100% bad if we have exactly 0. If we have exactly 1 starter, that's the perfect scenario. So that is 0% bad. If you have 1 starter and the other 3 cards are disruption, your opponent's going to find it very hard to play the game. If we have 2 starters, it's not as good as having 1 starter. It is -1 disruption, but it's not so bad. Like, at least you still get to set your engine and have a decent amount of disruption in your hand. So I give that a 20% badness rating. If you have 3 starters, now it's actually quite bad. Sure, you'll get to do your engine, but with only 1 disruption piece, it's not great. You will get to draw a card still. It's probably, depending if you're going first or second, but either way, you'd rather have much more disruption. So I give this an 80% badness rating. And if you have 4 starters, you've got 0 disruption in your opening hand. You just have to hope that if you have the luxury of using Keysicle to draw a card, that you'll draw into something good. So this, I give it 90% badness. It's not as bad as opening 0, because it's better to start than not, but it's still pretty bad. And so what this is telling me is, I can just show you here actually. If I just unhide these columns. This is just a whole bunch of calculations which figures out the chance of drawing exactly, that if you have 1 starter in your deck, the chance of drawing exactly 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. all the way down for however many starters you have in your deck. And it just uses that data to calculate a banner score, the best number to play, and the chance for the optimal hand, and a chance for an acceptable hand. So just quickly how to interpret this is a badness score is basically the chance to open, in this case, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 of your starters, weighted against how bad they are and all summed up. So the lower the badness score, the better. An acceptable hand is the chance to draw any of these hands where the badness is not 100%. It's basically not just a brick, essentially. And the chance for the optimal hand is the chance to draw the one with the lowest badness, so in this case exactly 1 card. And it turns out the best number of starters to play is 7. We can have some additional information down here as well. It tells us that if you just care about the maximizing your chance to have the optimal hand, you should play 5 starters. This gives you the best chance of opening exactly 1, no more, no less. And then down here, we can just try different numbers. So in this one, I've put 5 here to see, okay, what if we did play with 5 starters? Well then, our chance for the optimal hand is basically 47%, which is the best we could possibly hope for. But the badness score is 35%, which is a lot worse than the 30% here. Remember, the higher the score, the worse it is. And the chance for the acceptable hand is also a lot lower. I'm going to assume because we have a lot more hands with 0 starters in them compared to if we played 7. We can just try some other numbers. So what if we tried 8? 8 has a very similar badness score. The spreadsheet would have chosen 7 because in the decimal points it would have been slightly better to play 7. But also notice the chance to open an optimal hand goes down quite a lot as well compared to if we play 7. And but the chance to open an acceptable hand goes up a little bit too. So 7 is optimal, 8 is still fine, I'd say. If we go to 9, well, here's the thing. If the more we add to the deck, because we've said opening 4 starters is an acceptable amount, the chance to open an acceptable hand will just tend towards 100 as we add more and more starters into the deck. So you got to take this stat with a grain of salt. If we said that this was terrible, then like we don't accept 4 starters, then it would change a bit more. But anyway, and then if we go 6, that's again you can just see it's worse. So 7 is the optimal number of starters to play in an Evil Twins deck with size 20, if you agree with these badness evaluations. And the whole point of showing you the game against the NPC was to help you understand why I choose these numbers for badness. So, now we've got that, let's go back to Duel Links. Back in Duel Links, we know that we want to have 7 starters. These 4 cards here are our pool of cards that we can consider starters. I guess there's Signet Mining as well. But anyway, we'll only consider these ones. Now I see a lot of people load up on the Live Twins. 3 of each, that's 6 cards in deck, and that leaves you 1 starter remaining, which would be Live Twin Home, because Password isn't actually a starter unless it can find Home already in the deck. So that will be your 7 starters, and then you get your 13 disruptive cards after that. I don't think that's correct, and I'll tell you why. The first the first Live Twin that is in your hand is very, very, very good. It opens up your entire combo. The second Live Twin that is in your hand is awful. Because they consume your normal summon, it's basically a dead card. You can't summon both in the same turn. It just sits in your hand rotting away. So, if your opening hand is going to contain more than 1 starter, you would prefer that apart from one live twin, the other starter did something else. So it does something other than just be a starter. And Live Twin Home does that. Live Twin Home lets you discard a card and special summon one of the live twins from your deck. And then for the rest of the turn, you're only allowed to summon evil twins from the extra deck. And you can only activate it once per turn. You have to discard a card to do this. So it lets you special summon a twin. So it doesn't consume your normal, which might be relevant. And so there's a few considerations here. One, it's a worse starter than just opening one of the live twins, because you have to discard a card to activate it. But if you already have a live twin in hand, this card acts as extension for if your opponent has some sort of interruption for your twins. And so for that reason, I would prefer that my opening hand contained one live twin and one live twin home if I had to have more than one starter in my opening hand. So that would get us to 3 of each twin and 1 live twin home, but I still disagree with that because Password can find live twin home, but there's no point playing Password if the only target is 1 copy of live twin home. You might as well just play 2 live twin home at that point. So if we look at the related cards for Secret Password, it can also find this card, Evil Twin Present. Evil Twin Present is an okay piece of disruption. It's not the best in the game, but it's also not too bad either. And so, for the small cost of including Evil Twin Present in our deck, Secret Password, if it's in our opening hand, will either be a starter because it will find live twin home, or if we already have a starter in our hand, it can find disruption in Evil Twin Present. So this is the best of both worlds. So it will count as one of our 7 starters, but it's also disruption, depending on what we need. As for the number of live twins to play, so why don't we just play a whole bunch of live twin homes, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 passwords. That's because if you summon a live twin, for example, let's summon live twin pink, its effect will go on the chain to summon blue from the deck. If your opponent destroys pink in response, then blue will summon, and then blue will trigger because it's summoned. And you've got no other monsters on the field, it will trigger to summon another pink from your deck or hand. But if you've only got 1 pink and you've already used it to try and summon blue, blue's not going to be able to trigger. So because of this interesting interaction that the live twins have against opponents' interruptions, we want to have a minimum of 2 in each deck. So we'll put 2 of these in, and we'll put 2 of these in. And so that's 4. We need 7. We don't want to load up on too many live twin homes because it is really bad to discard. And then if we have 2 passwords that can find home and some other cards loaded in the deck, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starters. And I put it to you that this is the ideal setup for live twins. This exact setup of 7 starters, so long as you include other targets for password in your deck, which we'll get to later. I don't think playing 3 live twins is correct. 3 of each live twin. For all the reasons I've lined out. So, before we move on to the disruptive part of the deck, there's one card in particular I want to talk about, and that is this one, Live Twin Channel. Live Twin Channel is a field spell that I initially did not include in the deck because it does not give you advantage. It does not, well, most of the time it doesn't. It doesn't plus you, except in a very specific circumstance, and it doesn't disrupt the opponent either. It's kind of a do-nothing, but it turns out it's actually quite important for the deck. What it does is when a monster declares an attack, you can tribute a twin, basically, negate that attack. And during the end phase, you can target a twin in your graveyard and shuffle into the deck, or if you control no monsters, you can add it to your hand instead. So one of the big reasons that you would want to play 3 of the of the live twins in the main deck, these ones, is because if you go through your combo line and then the opponent deals with it, say with a Dark Hole or something, you really need to draw another one to get your combo going again. What the field spell does is it means you are more resistant to things like Dark Hole. If they wipe away all of your twins and then you need to just draw a starter again, well, you don't have to just draw a starter again. You can choose Live Twin Channel to return one of the live twins you've already used from your graveyard back into your hand, because you have no monsters in play. All you have to do is survive, and most of the deck is disruption, so you should be able to survive. So one live twin channel basically takes the space of 2 live twins in the main deck, which opens up more space for disruption. And very happily, Password can find channel, so we don't really even have to... It's basically free. It's a very soft garnet. If we draw it in our opening hand, to be honest, it's still okay. The effect to tribute twins to negate attacks is still okay. It's just not ideal. I think it's a very small cost to pay to include it in the deck, because if you draw Password, you don't have to find channel. You can find a starter, or you can find disruption. So our first piece of disruption is automatically assumed in the deck. It is Evil Twin present. I should probably explain what it does. If you control a twin, basically anything that says a Kisikil monster and a Lila monster basically means a twin, a live twin or an evil twin. So, sorry, it's not if you control a twin. If you control both twins, you can choose one of these effects. You either swap control of one of your twins with one of your opponent's monsters, or you shuffle one of their set spell traps back into their deck. It's decent. It's decent. I'll get into especially why it's decent a bit later as well. So we've got these 11 slots remaining. So considerations for disruptions in live twins. Number 1, hand traps are very, very, very good in this deck, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the box that had live twins in it also came out with effect failures. So yeah, effect failure, here we go. This, because the live twins, they draw in your opponent's turn, you want to maximize the chance that you're going to draw something you can utilize immediately, and that means hand traps. For that reason, we should pay attention to all our hand traps that we have available, and now we're getting into the part of the video where I can properly explain how to make the best Evil Twins deck for your own personal collection. The best hand trap in the game is definitely Effect Veiler, and so if you can load up on 3 Effect Veilers, that's great. I stopped at opening the box once I had 2 of each twin and 3 Effect Veiler, because I figured out this maths beforehand. But if you, in your hunt for 3 Veilers, end up with more than 2 of one or both of the twins, you can try out 3 and 3. I don't think it's correct for the reasons I have explained. Another very impactful hand trap in the meta right now is DD Crow. DD Crow is, so both Effect Veiler and DD Crow are very good against twins, and DD Crow is also great against Blue Eyes. They want to Monster Reborn something. It's good against Tenyi. They have lots of graveyard effects they're trying to do. It's a bit of a shot in the dark. It's sometimes okay against Blackluster Soldier if you banish their ritual in the graveyard, but they don't have the Envoy of the Beginning in their hand, then they won't be able to summon a Blackluster Soldier that turn. Oh, if they don't have the ritual spell as well. Sometimes you can throw them off, but DD Crow has no other application in that matchup, so you may as well just shoot your shot. But things to consider, things like Lancia, I don't think it's very good in this meta, but when it is good, you'll be able to play it very easily. Draw and Lockbird, like any Skullmeister, any hand traps, like as they become meta relevant, very easy to fit into an Evil Twins deck. I only own 2 DD Crow. I don't know if I would play 3. I really don't know. I'd have to try it out. But I'm really happy with the 2 that I've been playing with. Alright, so other considerations for disruption in Evil Twins deck. Do you remember before I was saying if you summon, for example, Pink, and her ability goes on the chain to summon Blue, and then your opponent responds by destroying Blue, by destroying Pink, it doesn't matter because you'll still summon Blue, and then Blue will trigger to summon Pink. Opponents are very quickly, as the meta matures, going to realize they should not destroy your first normal summon before it's summoned out the other twin. So what better players are going to do is when you summon Pink, unless they have a straight up negate that doesn't destroy, they'll let Pink resolve, Pink will get Blue, and then before you have the chance to link summon, they will do something to interrupt you, like a Book of Moon or a removal spell, so then you're left with just one twin in play and nothing else to do. Another thing that they can do is use something like Effect Veiler to negate your normal summon without removing it. And then, again, you're just left with this monster in play that's kind of useless. So to counter that, if you have any cards which let you tribute your own monsters, as at least a quick play speed, you can get around stuff like Effect Veiler. Because, for example, let's look at Ballista Squad. Here, Ballista Squad says, ignore that as a trap for now, I'm just making a point. Tribute one monster, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. So if you already had this set, and then you normal summon your Live Twin Kill, and then your opponent uses Effect Veiler to negate Kill, in response, you can activate Ballista Squad, tribute the Kill, destroy a card and opponent controls, and then Effect Veiler fizzles, Kill's effect still resolves, gets Blue, and now Blue's the only monster you control, so Blue's going to trigger to summon a Pink again from your deck. So this reason is why a minimum of 2 of each Live Twin is, well, that is the minimum. So we're looking for disruption which allows us to tribute our monsters to also disrupt the opponent. There are a few cards in the game that do this, there might be more, these are the ones that I can remember. I only own 2 Ballista Squads, but this is where you can just modify it to your own collection. This is about making the best Evil Twins deck based on your collection. The best one is going to be Enemy Controller. There's also Cynet Crosswhite. This one here. So let's have a look at these 3. So Enemy Controller is the best one because it's a quick play spell, so you can do it in your turn in response, so if, without having to have it set already. So if you're going second, for example, you normal summon a twin, they try and negate it, you tribute the twin, take control of one of their monsters, and then your twin still goes off. So in this case, Pink would get Blue. Blue won't trigger anymore because you own one of their monsters as well as Blue. But that doesn't matter because you notice the twins, 2 monsters including Leela's the blue one, so including a Leela monster. It doesn't matter what the other monster is, so long as you've got a Leela, so you can just link away using your opponent's monster, Leela, you've already got the Pink engraved, so you can continue the combo. So Enemy Control is the best one, use it your turn, their turn, very versatile. Yeah, just before I go on to the others, another point I'll make about being able to tribute your twins is if you have both Evil Twins in play, if you remember at the end of your combo, you end with just Evil Twin Pink in play. In your opponent's turn, sometime in the main phase, you activate Pink to bring back Blue. Blue triggers like it did against the NPC to destroy an opponent's card, and now you have both of them in play. And just like we did in the NPC game, if you contribute your one of your ones, the one who hasn't had their effect activate yet to do whatever they do when they get summoned, in this case Pink, then you can use Blue to bring back Pink and you get a free draw as well. So being able to tribute your monsters in your opponent's turn is very good. Live Twin Channel kinda does this. It lets you tribute the monsters, but only in battle, so you won't get to proc them in your opponent's turn again, but it just helps you make sure you've only got one in your turn without having to commit to another Link summon. Alright, so, sorry, a bit of a sidetrack, but that's enemy controller is the best one. The two other ones here, Ballista Squad and Silent Crosswipe, have about half of the goodness of enemy controller, and then they have the other half of them is bad. So, Ballista Squad is great because you contribute any of your monsters, your evil twins or your live twins, and you get its effect, but it's bad because it's a trap. So you can't do it on your first attempt to go off. If they affect failure your pink, doesn't matter if you've got Ballista Squad in hand. Yeah. You just have to set the Ballista Squad on pass. Signet Crosswipe is the opposite problem. Signet Crosswipe is just like enemy controller, it's a quick effect. It lets you tribute Cyber type monster, which the twins are, to destroy a card on the field. The downside of it though is that the Link monsters are not Cybers, they are fiends. And so this only does something when you're trying to protect your combo. And after that, it's actually a dead card. It's completely dead. So for that reason, I personally don't like to play Crosswipe. But I still like Ballista Squad. It can lead to some very powerful blowouts. Another card that I've seen people playing that's in the deck for these same considerations is Offerings to the Doomed. So Offerings to the Doomed is it's just a straight up removal spell. Target one face upon monster on the field, destroy that target, also skip your next draw phase. Skipping your next draw phase is a very minor drawback in this deck because normally you draw 2 in your turn and 1 in your opponent's turn, so you missing your draw step is not as significant. If you miss your draw step normally in a normal deck, you're missing 100% of your draws. In this deck, you're only missing 33% of your draws. So you can use this just as removal, but it has the flexibility in that if your opponent targets one of your starters, then you can just destroy your starter. It's not as good as enemy controller, or if you already had a set Ballista Squad, because you don't also get to interact with your opponent's cards, but that's also a plus as well, because on the first turn you can still do it. So if you're going first, your opponent has no cards in play, you're not able to activate enemy controller or Ballista Squad, obviously. So if you play your starter, they effect failure it, you can use Offerings of the Doomed to essentially negate their effect failure just by destroying your own starter. I haven't tried it out yet. It's something I need to consider. I've been fine without it though, because there are plays that you can make around around the potential for your opponent to have effect failure. And I'd rather have basically better disruptive tools in my deck. So that's all the extra considerations. I only own 2 Ballista Squad. I honestly don't know if I would play 3, but it's not something I've had to think about. That's something you can think about though if you do own 3. Maybe you own 3 Ballista Squad and only 2 effect failure, for example. So then these other 3 slots here, well, Evil Twins is not hit on the limit list yet. I fully expect it will be in the future, but right now it's not. So, I mean, there are powerful limit 3 spells in the game, and we've got 3 slots remaining. So let's just have a look at some powerful disruption. Ice Dragon's Prison is amazing. Really, really, really good in this meta. Good against Twins, good against Blue Eyes, good against Tenyi, good against... It's just absolutely amazing. I only own 1 though, so I can only play 1. What else? Oh yeah, that's what else I'm playing. The other 2 cards I'm playing is as I expect Evil Twins to get more and more popular. We need an out to them. It's really hard to play against Evil Twins if they've set up first, and if you haven't managed to disrupt them, such as you didn't open any of your 5-hand traps. So I put in a tool to defeat them, and they are the Kaijus. Evil Twin players always end up consolidating both of their link monsters into 1 link monster, and then all you have to do is Kaiju it. and you've just completely shut down their twins part of their deck. They can't respond to being kaiju'd. The problem with something like Offerings to the Doomed, for example, if you target their pink that they've got in play, they can just respond with pink and bring back blue, and then use blue to bring back pink, and they'll probably survive because of their disruption, and then they still have their engine online. But Kaiju completely gets rid of that. It also can remove pesky targets such as Chaos Max, anything else that's indestructible, untargetable. It's just a really great catch-all. And Evil Twins is a deck, because you draw so much and your engine is so lean, you can afford to play a few cards which are not as flexible. Like Kaiju's not as flexible because it's strictly a going second card, and the other card I'd include in this category is Channel, because it doesn't actually really do anything. So that's three cards in our deck that don't directly starters or disrupt the opponent, at least at quick effect speed. So that's the main deck. But other considerations, something like Floodgate Trap Hole. Basically, I was looking for things that can deal with Chaos Max, and I've gone against a few Cosmos as well now for some reason, and Floodgate can deal with that. Floodgate, Ice Dragon's Prison. I ended up taking out Floodgate for the Kaijus. Yeah, you can just change them based on your experiences. Now onto the extra deck. So 3 of each, I think, is a really good place to start. You don't actually need 3 of each, especially if you're playing Live Twin Channel. You make pink a lot, because you make pink to revive blue once you already set up in the graveyard with blue with the Link monster blue in the graveyard. You make pink to summon blue and get blue's effect to pop a card. So this is actually fine. 3 pink and 2 blue. Maybe it's possible to go 2 pink. I'm not comfortable with that, even with Channel in the deck to recycle. But I guess you could do it. I found though that extra deck space is not tight in this deck. You don't need a lot of extra deck monsters, so just hit the extra safety from 3 and 3. Yeah, fine. It also insulates you a little bit against someone like a Varus who plays rockets and uses Silver Rocket to banish a monster from your extra deck. Like 3 and 3 is fine. As you saw in my game against the NPC, the Nightmares are really good in this deck, especially Nightmare Unicorn, because 2200 you get when you're doing your summoning from the graveyard shenanigans, you get fiend locked, and so it's very hard to summon monsters from the extra deck that aren't fiends. Luckily the Nightmares are fiends. 2200 plus 11 plus 11, 44. There's no TK most of the time. Not that you really care. This deck is more than set up to play a grind game. You don't have to OTK at all. But it's nice to have the option. Nightmare Unicorn is great, because if you summon it co-linked, which is very easy to do in this deck. Basically, if you have 2 twins in play, you do any normal summon, you link away the normal summon plus 1 of the twins into Nightmare Unicorn, pointing to the other twin that you didn't link away. You activate Nightmare Unicorn's effect, discard a card, shuffle away an opponent's card, draw a card, and then you can revive pink. So if you linked away with pink, for example, you've got blue still in play, you use blue to revive pink, and now you get to draw another card, and you also have lethal. But if you linked away blue instead, then you use pink to revive blue, and instead of drawing another card, you pop another card in your opponent's field. It's super flexible and an amazing coup de grace for the deck. Finals Link Monster. You could actually have 2 Nightmare Unicorn if you own 2. What am I playing? I can't remember now. That's right. So I had Borrowlow Dragon in here. Very hard to summon because you get fiend locked. But if you revive from a GY, but it is an answer to Chaos Max, for example, just some untargetable thing. You can kill them with their own Chaos Max. But I think there's a better answer now. Ningirsu. Ningirsu is also not a fiend, but it's only Link 3, and it only requires 2+ Link monsters, which the deck is very good at producing. So that's another answer to things that are untargetable. I've never had to use it yet, but it's nice to have the option there. I would honestly probably just play another unicorn if I owned another one. As for the skill, new generic archive skill just came out, Legend of Heroes, that you can use on any character. Each of the phone picks can be used once per duel, can be used if the total link rating of the monsters on your field is 3 or more. If you've got both twins, then your total link rating is 4, so it's easy. Increase life points by 2,000, and the skill could just stop there. That's basically all you're using it for. But it also has this extra part. On turn 5 and onward, you can return 4 link monsters from your graveyard to the extra deck, and add this guy to your extra deck from outside your extra deck. This is just some huge bungus big boss monster that can out. I mean, I've summoned it once when it was relevant, and that was against Cosmo. But you've got other answers to it in the deck anyway. It's I mean, it's cool to have the option. Sometimes being able to recycle your link monsters is great, but that's not really why you're playing this game. You're playing it just for the life points. An extra 2,000 life points is very, very nice. And that is, for my personal collection, I believe this is the perfect Evil Twins deck. Your personal collection might be different just based on the disruptive tools you have available, but the perfect starters, I maintain, are still this. Exactly this gets you to what you need. And now, Alex, without saving, because I have an Evil Twins deck already set up, I'll hop into a PvP match. I'm about, I think I'm Legend 2 at the moment. It doesn't tell you here, but I think I'm Legend 2. I just ranked up to Legend 3 at the start of the season. And I'll just show you, I'll walk you through my plays and show you how the deck sings. And if I don't open any starters or open too many starters, I know it's just bad variance because I calculated using the spreadsheet before that the number I'm playing is the perfect amount. Playing against Blue Eyes, which is normally just a free win.
I can steal
Look at this,
anything for
3
you.
disruptive
If you can
parts
afford my
and 1
supply.
starter. The perfect opening hand. Oh, it's not Blue Eyes, maybe it's not a free win. But we still got 2 DD Crow. Toggle on so that we can respond to whatever they've already sent to the GUI. They might have Adhara to add back whatever we banish, but we have 2 DD Crows, so it's okay. Oh, we don't care about that. This is just a battle effect, which we really don't care about. That one we care about. And they probably deliberately added that one to the hand rather than GUI because they know we have Crow because of the timing of when we've been getting priority. But them knowing we have Crow doesn't affect anything. They're still gonna struggle. Okay, and then obviously he knows we're doing it, we know we're doing it, we're banishing Asuna.
I activate my monster's effect.
This is where we find out if they have Adhara. If they don't, that's okay. The great thing about Evil Twins is we really don't care about the 10-year game plan at all. We don't care about red and we don't care about blue. We can just keep trying to pop their thing and they negate and destroy our stuff. We don't care, we just get it back. And if we did care about it, we've got DD Crow. Right, this is a little scary. Not really, because it's 10 years. It's probably like a Heavenly Circle or something. But that could interrupt our combo. and we don't have anything to stop that from happening because this Ballista Squad is a trap, unfortunately. I have a few options here. I could just go for it, and then if we get negated, we have this channel to help us survive. Bear in mind they're probably going to have access to Fashuda in their turn. Actually, no they won't. If this is something that negates us, they're not going to have access to Fashuda, at least not unless they just hard rip it or get Ashuna. But then, actually, it's looking pretty good for us to just go for it. So let's go for it.
I'll play this. I activate my monster's effect.
You won't escape.
Okay. I mean, we're completely fine because of channel. This is where channel is showing that it's better than just if it was another
Activate a field spell.
live twin as well. And if we need to, we've even got this.
I'll end my turn.
We are super fine unless they get Fashuda access. But even if they do, we've got Crow.
I activate my monster's effect. Show yourself. Special summon.
I think we let them go into their extra, like another copy of Monk. We don't have to destroy this now because we have Crow.
Come on out. Link summon.
I can't
We
let
could
you do that.
actually just let them
Activate my monster's effect.
get back Ashuna and summon Ashuna and then make them go to another Monk or the Link too.
How much stronger I am than you.
But this is just simpler. And we're not dead because we have
I activate my monster's effect.
oh, that was a mistake. I actually forgot about. Does this care about the Batman monster? Oh yeah, it has to be. Okay, they had no choice but to do this time. Well, we can just negate the attack with this.
I activate a field spell.
They shouldn't have done that because obviously they're always going to do that.
Get out of my sight.
Oh yeah, the live twins actually have an effect when you get attacked. Anyway, because we have no monsters in the field, when we shuffle this back, instead of shuffling it back, we just add it to our hand, and now we win.
I
Look at
end
all
my
those
turn.
flashy moves. I draw.
Let's see what
Unfortunate.
you do.
We played the prismatic. Oh no, that we drew another
Come
one.
here.
Unfortunate.
I activate my monster's effect.
We got blue. Actually, I probably should have used Ballista Squad there, just to get rid of one of the blue red in the GUI. So, you make whichever twin you want to get the effect of, and you'll get it a bit later in the turn. So pink to draw a card, blue to pop a card. I want to start chewing through their blue and red in the GUI, so I'm going to go for blue. So this means I'm dedicating myself to popping a card on the field.
I'll play this. I'll create a circuit that links the known. I activate my monster's effect.
It's just the basic combo.
Come here. I special summon a monster.
Ideally, when they're getting summoned to the extra monster zone, you want their arrow to be pointing out of the board. It's not a big deal though, and their monster's taking that space, so pink's gonna have to go here.
Create a circuit that links the known with the unknown. I activate my monster's effect.
Not gonna get to use our skill actually if I pop a thing, which is something I didn't think about. Oh well, should still be fine.
Check this out. I activate my monster's effect.
Here we force out one of the things, it doesn't matter which one.
Now, I activate my monster's effect.
I wish it was minted and blue. Snap, I still chain this. They'll destroy my other twin, which I can't have. It's unacceptable. You also can't attack over that because they still have blue, so I just have to pass the turn. No, we don't want to do that. because we want to minimize our chance of drawing a
I'm not
twin.
out of moves yet.
It's
I
my
end
turn.
my turn.
I'll draw. I activate my
Ah,
monster
we should have.
effect.
That's really unfortunate. Alright, so toggle on to make sure we get a chance
I don't think that's going
to
to help.
respond in case for some
I
reason they don't
activate
use
my
blue.
monster's effect. I'll play this. I specials. I don't think that's going to help. I activate my monster's effect.
This is their last piece of protection.
I activate my monster's effect.
This is where it's having drawn. This is actually really good because we've got the follow-up for when they destroy. Because they're going to get rid of both of our... Yeah. I have more respect for my opponent than expecting they would destroy pink. And now they've got nothing and they're dead. That was a shame we lose Selena's music. Maybe I should have popped their thing
There's nowhere left to run.
beforehand just to
Attack.
not get the music changed.
I don't think that's going to help. Here's the card I set.
That 500 life we gained from red at the start is actually relevant here. Sorry, pink. Sometimes I say red, sometimes I say pink.
Can't
I end
be.
my turn.
Look at all those splashy
Okay,
moves.
now we
Draw.
truly win.
I'll play this. I activate my monster's effect.
How can I lose?
I
And
get
he knows it. Oh, nice. Let's do another one, just for show. I'll show you my win-loss ratio with the deck as well. It's a very good deck. One loss here. What's that against? Trying to remember what even happened in this. Oh, I remember. I bricked. I had no starters, and which will happen about 15% of the time. And I mean, out of 10 games, one to two games is gonna be there. So I disrupted him a load, had lots of effect negation, but he just had monsters in play to kill me. Ghost Girls are usually also Twins players or Alt Guys players, obviously.
I can steal as a hack duel.
Again, perfect opener. 3 disruptive pieces and 1. I mean,
Okay.
if they've got effect radar, I'd prefer to have Lightning Home here, but they don't. They can still have DD Crow. DD Crow also ruins this deck. Let's just find out. We want to use Pink's effect because we've got no cards of our opponents to destroy, so we summon Pink first. Have the arrow pointing out.
I'll create a circuit that links the known. I
Activate Pink.
activate my monster's
They don't have
effect.
Crow. Summon Blue.
I'll play this. I special summon
Summon
a
blue.
monster.
He gets to do the little dance as well because of the optimal zone placement. It really doesn't matter going first, but it's good to get in the habit of putting the correct twins in the correct zones.
My monster's effect. I'll play
You
this.
get to draw a card.
I activate my monster's effect.
Now we can actually use the skill because we have link rating 3 or more on the field. And we consolidate back into Pink.
I'll play this.
If I notice more and more kaijus being played, which I haven't, but if I do, with a hand like this where I have 2 tribute effects, I would actually leave both Pink and Blue on the field. So it's just not vulnerable to a kaiju in that case.
I draw.
Right now I'm very vulnerable to a kaiju.
Poltergeist Silkwood.
That's completely irrelevant currently. Currently.
I'll set a card. I'll set a card.
Alright. I mean, they're just gonna get destroyed, probably.
I activate
It's we're not out of the woods yet, to be honest. The one card that we leave, it might be
I'll play this.
actually,
Slow
why would
down.
we
I
leave
activate
them
my
at
monster's
a trap?
effect.
Oh, that's right, because if it was an Altergeist, when I destroy Silk, they're going to get it back. Oh my gosh, we got spoofing, that's insane. Destroy the other
That's
one.
going to help.
Could be pink.
Here's the card I set. I activate a trap.
And then we get...
I can't let you do that.
We would have had a really hard time if they were going first.
Come here.
They-
Sorry, hun. I activate
Opening
my
spoofing is
monster's effect.
very powerful. Okay, and now we just don't care. We're going to win.
Okay. I
Oh!
summon a monster.
Yeah, that was foolish.
Silk would
That's why I should have
activate
killed
when she
Silk.
goes to the graveyard.
Except,
Sorry, hun. I activate my monster's effect. My turn. I end my turn. I draw.
if I had a normal summon here, I could just go normal summon, make unicorn, blah 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 blah. Oh, I still can. Can I? Tribute this, take this, summon this. Yeah, this is just lethal.
I flip over my set card. I activate a quick. I couldn't have you be.
Yeah, with that opening hand, that was kind of just luck of who was going first. That was actually a coin toss. Third game, just for good measure, and then I'll wrap up the video.
I love a good duel.
See, because password
turn.
is can be anything, it doesn't have to be a starter. If we didn't have this Kisa kill, it would be a starter, but we do have a Kisa kill, so now it's either going to be extension if this gets disrupted, or it'll just be disruption. It looks like it could be disrupted. I actually saw someone still playing a landscape, yeah. Alright, effect failure. Alright. When we extend, we still lose to another effect failure if they use our link monster, or
From my hand,
DD Pro.
I activate a spell card.
We have no idea what they're playing. Effect failure could be anything, but they're playing an obscure character, so I'll assume they have the same skill as us, because any character can use that, so I'm going to assume they're evil twins. The best thing to use against them, because they are going second, effect failure might not be so good against them, because they normal summon effect failure, then they do something like tribute their monster, you know, like I was talking about before, in response. So Crow will actually be better against them if they are twins. So I'm going to discard effect failure.
I activate a quick play spell.
We get the other twin.
I'll play this. I special summon
Now we
a
just need them to
monster.
not have Crow.
Okay. I link summon
We
a
want to draw, so
monster.
we make pink.
I activate my
pink.
monster's effect.
Get blue.
Come here. I special summon a
Make
monster.
blue. Set to the motion.
Check
Normally I
this
would have done this a lot faster, but
I'll
I'm
create a
talking, I want to
circuit
go
that
through
lets
my
them know
thought
I
process.
activate
The timer
my
can be
monster's effect.
a big enemy playing this deck.
Come here. I activate my monster's effect.
Nice, we actually get some disruption. Crow.
I'll set a card.
Because of the timer, I'm just doing what I normally do, but I think it is worth considering there. Considering I think I'm playing twins.
I'll
they might have econ as well. I might actually want to leave both twins up. I didn't do the calculations fast enough to know when I wanted to leave both twins up there, because I have econ. Yep, they're on twins, as I suspected. The fact they search that, if they open with that, that's super good for us. Okay, they didn't need to reveal that. They were finding that. Yeah, may as well force them to use Own. I can do this here because blue is going to go in a new chain. My blue, that is. I'm not going to pop them and leave them with no other monsters on the field.
Come here. I special summon a monster.
I want them to use home to find pink, so I will pop pink because I don't want them to, like, you want to deny them of having both colors in the GUI.
I activate my monster's
And
effect.
because they've already used blue's effect, if they summon blue out of the GUI and somehow that's the only thing on the field,
Alright then. I special summon a monster.
I mean, all I have to do is steal blue.
Slow down. Here's the card I set. I activate a quick play spell.
May as well draw a card.
Sorry, hon. I activate my monster's effect.
They were so toast with their opening hand. What was their opening hand? They bricked on too many starters, basically.
Check this out. I special. I don't think that's going to help. I activate my monster's effect. I set a card.
It's kind of not fair when one player does have the Link monster access and the other doesn't. Very hard for her to win now.
I draw.
In fact, I can just go for the lion. Now they have both twins. They're very likely to draw starter plus extension, so I'm just going to use a crow.
Come
And
here.
keep effect way there.
I summon a monster. I'll play this. I'll create a circuit that links the known. I activate my monster's effect.
Let me just edging. Get rid of the scary back row.
Lucky me. Here's my set card. I activate a trap card.
This is not good for them. That's fine. It's co-linked the time of activation. Oh, okay. Well, do this. Get back blue. I can't OTK them, so there's no point just going for lots of damage. I may as well get an extra cheeky draw in. The way I do that is I haven't used blue's effect yet, so I can consolidate these into blue.
Come here. I link summon a monster. I
blue.
activate my monster's effect.
Get pink to get the cheeky draw in,
I activate my monster's effect.
and then consolidate back into pink, so I can summon blue in their turn to disrupt whatever they've got going.
Check this out. I link summon a monster. Let's
If they have nothing, I can actually revive blue and use blue to pop my own pink, then use blue to revive pink and still get a draw in. So it's always good to end on pink as opposed to blue.
Alright then. I summon a monster.
That's fine.
Why do I always end up right place?
That was really unfortunate for them. They bricked on too many starters, and then they still needed starter there, but it was far too late. I'm going to look at their deck list and see if they're playing too many starters, or if they were just truly unlucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starters. Far too many. And you saw them bricking on too many secret passwords as well. They had to just scab them for home and stuff. Yeah, I don't think this is a good Evil Twins deck. Obviously they play the third effect fairly if they had it. I'm pretty sure they simply opened 2 pink, 3 blue, and 2 effect failures from the box. This I didn't talk about. I initially tried this in the deck just to see how it felt. It's terrible. So the main things this card does is, let's read it. Must be special summoned from your hand or GY by attributing 2 link monsters. So basically you have to give up your entire Evil Twins board. Oh, they also only have 1 pink and not an extra. They just haven't opened the whole deck yet, surely. How did they end up with 3 blue and only 1 pink? Anyway, this card, you have to get rid of your board. So once you've committed to this card, you can't recover until you have a card in hand that lets you recover, such as another monster to link this away back into an Evil Twin link monster or channel, live twin channel that is. So it's a big commitment to get this into play. You are saying, I am confident I'm going to win the game now. So it's high risk. What do you get for that risk? What's the reward? Well, if you've got both of these in the GY, this thing is going to have 4400 attack. So your reward is a big monster. It also has an effect which very rarely activates. If this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect. If your opponent controls 3 or more cards, they must send cards to the graveyard so they control 2 cards. If your opponent controls 3 or more cards, you are never confident enough to summon this thing. Unless those 3 cards are like just vanilla monsters or something like that, which does happen because of Tenyi and stuff, but like very rare. It's much better to do the coup de grace I was doing with pink, unicorn, blue. They had Ballista Squad, right, when I went for that line. Imagine if my move was this instead. They would just Ballista Squad this, and that's it. I've just lost the game because now I can't continue. Like, I don't have board control anymore. So yeah, I don't agree with this card. I think this deck was just put together by somebody who's opened some cards from the main box, but not all of them. I think I've gone first every single game. I want to show you a game where I go second, because you saw I did have 1 loss in that 10 match history. Like, it is possible to lose. Okay, going second. Here we go.
Can't wait to see what tricks you have in store for
Alright,
me.
got a starter. It's not the best starter, but it still gets the job done. Okay, Kaiju's gonna destroy them. But if they disrupt, like he did, Twin Home. If someone opens with Live Twin Home, which I'm likely to do, you can very confidently disrupt that because no one opens with that if they have a choice. Like, why would I start with this and discard a card when I could just normal summon a Live Twin? You could say I've been getting really lucky with my hands, but that was the entire point of the deck building portion, is I've maximized the chances for me to get lucky with having exactly 7 starters and the distribution of the starters being such as they are. That could easily be a Live Twin since they kind of throw me. Oh my gosh, I got both Kaijus, that's amazing. I think just give them the worst one. Okay, what do I want to discard? So, probably the Kaiju. No, secret password, because if it all goes... If they've got Ballista Squad, this Kaiju's gonna suck. I'm gonna assume they have Ballista Squad or Econ, something like that, so I'm gonna discard the Kaiju.
Quick play spell.
I want to summon, get Blue's effect, so I'm gonna summon Blue here.
Okay.
As in,
I
Evil Twin
I
Blue.
activate my monster's effect.
I could still have
Okay.
Ballista Squad.
I special summon a monster.
Okay, that back row seems to be... It could be IDP, that's the last thing it could be threatening.
Come here. I'll create a circuit that links the known with the unknown. I activate my
Ah, is it
monster's
IDP?
effect.
Nope. I don't know what it could be. That could be... since I got this main deck, it could still be like...
I special summon a monster. I play my face down card. My
Oh,
continuous
Crackdown.
activates.
It's decent, but it doesn't
From my
win
hand,
the game.
I activate a spell card.
I really don't want to use Present in this matchup. Just get Channel. For the grind. I win the grind, then I'll win the
From my
game.
hand, I activate a field spell. I set a card.
I use Toggle on because I need to use it. Oh no.
I flip over my face down card. I activate a quick
Do
play
I want to use
spell.
this? They're gonna go make blue. Make blue, summon pink. Sure, okay. Make pink, summon blue. Pop. They're gonna pop Channel before this to do anything. A starter isn't gonna win me the game. So I think I've just lost here. So it's just gonna go
I
anyway.
put together a pretty good lineup. I end
But
my
this score
turn.
would have been fantastic. Get rid of their Crackdown. Give me back 9. Okay, so here's an example. I've just lost the game.
This'll be perfect. I link summon a monster. I activate my monster's effect. This'll be perfect. I activate my monster's
I don't
effect.
think there's a single card I can throw on that phone.
I'll use this card. I summon a monster.
Oh, they can
in
do the coup de
attack
grace.
position. I'll
Yeah,
use
unicorn.
This card. I link
Discard
summon a
unit.
monster.
Yeah.
Activate my
Alright,
monster's
GG. Okay. So, I showed you a loss, but I want to show you another game where I go second and win, because the deck isn't just go first win, go second lose. I really didn't think about Crackdown. I was thinking of them having Ballista Squad or Econ. The Kaiju would have been much better in my hand than Password Finding Channel in the other game. Although they still had a life twin, so I was still going to be dead anyway.
Here
I'm
I
going first
go.
again. Oh, it's a
It's
brick.
my
Okay.
turn.
Win.
I'll set a card.
Oh wait, is that Blue Eyes Dimension? Yeah, I've just thought of my Ballista Squad. Oh well, maybe
Together,
maybe this will
pretty
spook
good
them
lineup.
into
I end my turn.
Monster Reborning the white the Spirit Dragon instead of finding Chaos Max by getting the thing which can find the Ritual's Balance, etc. Yeah. And I didn't draw a starter here, but I know that my deck is constructed such that, sure, this will happen every so often. It will happen more often than the decks which are playing 3 of each live twin, for example. Like if this channel was a live twin, or one of these kaijus was a live twin, But
From my hand.
it's made up for by the fact that more often than those decks, I'm gonna have exactly one starter and
Dragon,
three
Spirit of
disruptive
Light.
pieces.
Dragon, Spirit of Light's effect.
Now I'm just dead because they got Monster Reborn to do it.
Not a single.
I'm just gonna surrender. Okay, I really want to show you a game where I go second and win. I was going second, like going first and winning, going second and losing, and then going first but bricking and losing. Okay, second. Here we go. Okay, I can go second and win here.
Feast your eye.
I can steal.
Whatever
See,
your
this is what I
reason
talk about.
for dueling me,
This is what I get in
Better not
exchange
waste my
for
time
having a
by
slightly
holding
increased
back.
possibility of
Duel.
no starters.
here
I get
go.
one starter and three
My
disruptive
turn.
pieces. It's just insane. It's so insane.
The souls of
He's lost. Like, there's nothing he can do. He's just lost. It's gonna disconnect before I do it.
come on out. Synchro summon.
Toggle on second crow in the end phase before this triggers. Actually, can.
I don't think that's going to help. I activate my
I'd have been
monster's
correct to
effect.
save crow
I end my turn.
Here I go.
for when he tries to monster
It's
reborn
Mike, I
something.
draw.
I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, I want to use blue to force out this early. Yeah. Actually, I can just tide it over. I don't think I'm just able to Chaos Max in
Come
this game.
here. I special summon a monster.
And now there's that. It's probably gonna be a bit greedy. Over ping is gonna be.
I'll play with. I activate my monster's effect. Okay. I special summon a monster.
Oh, you want to link summon the. I think that's the thing that protects his life points from damage. So.
Check this out. I'll create a circuit that links the known with the unknown.
You want to normal summon the same color of the thing you're gonna make first, because, for example, if he destroyed this now or something, this blue hasn't used its effect yet, so I'd still then be able to. So keep going, basically. This is so good. Me drawing a card. It's good.
Come here.
I really kind of
I'll
need to
create
deal with
a
that
circuit
Kaiju.
that links the known with the unknown. Link summon.
And Blue
I
Eyes can spit out a
activate
bunch of
my
3,000
monster's
attack monsters.
effect. Come here. I activate my monster's effect. No this.
I can actually make blue as well. Oh, that's funny.
Come here.
So it's like I made blue here instead of drawing a card. Just got the extra Kaiju out of my deck. Whoops, not that one.
Check this out. I'll create a circuit that links the known. I activate my
I'm really
monster's
not afraid
effect.
of that back row.
Okay. I link
Think
summon
this
a
over here.
monster. I'll set a card. Let's battle. This'll work. I attack you directly.
I'm pretty sure that's what's it called, hallowed life ground or something. I can't remember.
I'll activate this card. Monster Reborn.
So if I'd saved Crow, I could stop this, which would be really good, but they would also have another dragon in play now, which wouldn't really matter. So I should have saved Crow.
Join me. I activate my monsters effect. The light from my
Okay, no chaos max. Fine. Okay, toggle on because I'm gonna use Melissa Squad here as well.
I don't think that's going to help. I activate my monsters effect.
I can afford to take the life point hit,
Check this
so
out.
the 2 cards I'll destroy won't be both monsters. First, I'll get rid of this, and he'll be really sad if it is the life point protection thing. Not respond to this now, just in case that is something I can interrupt. I think, yeah, hallowed life barrier, and then get rid of the thing that searches and stuff at the end of the turn.
I activate a trap.
I know that's chaos form, so I know there's nothing I can do to interrupt this.
I activate my monsters effect. Check this out.
I get an extra draw. And when you're against evil twins, you
Here I go.
you want to destroy both of them at the same time. Otherwise, I can just keep going. Okay, so I think that's a good enough wrap up for the deck. So what did we have? So we had a few wins because just easy wins going first. We had a hand where we bricked here, and then here we had a bit of a game going. That was the first game I went second, and they got the setup first, and we didn't have the tools to get through, even if I'd kept that kaiju, because if I had the kaiju and attacked, I would be forced to attack my blue. There's no way I want to leave them with a blue twin on the field. So I'd attack blue, which they had crackdown. Actually, would I have? Because I didn't know they had MST set. MST is quite rare. I wouldn't have expected MST. So I might have just crashed over the kaiju. And then they would MST my Ballista Squad anyway and do the same play. But even if I had kept the kaiju, summoned the kaiju, attacked over Evil Twin Blue, they still had a starter in hand after the MST on the Ballista Squad. So just normal summoning the pink one, that would do what they were doing anyway. And actually that game really showed the weakness of Live Twin Channel. Because Live Twin Channel, it didn't do anything. Literally didn't do anything. But if they did not have a starter in their hand as well, then Live Twin Channel would have actually won me well, won't win me the game, but if they didn't have MST, like if MST, which is not commonly played right now, especially in Live Twins decks, if MST wasn't played, then the channel would have carried me if they didn't have a starter as well. Let's look at that deck list. 3 and 3, 9, 10, 11. Oof. Oh, but in a 25 card deck, so that might change the math a bit. I haven't done the math for 25. Actually, we can figure it out now. Let's have a look. So if the deck size is 25, they should be playing 9. They're playing 11, which yeah, so the 25 deck is just worse. So playing 11, they have a very small chance that opening the optimal hand compared to the other numbers. But their banner score, the best they can hope for, as in the lowest banner score they can hope for, with 25 cards in deck, is 31%. But at 20 cards in deck, it goes down to 30%. So it's just better to play 30. That's something I haven't tested though. Let's do that quickly. Can we get to below 30% banners? No. It's just correct to play 20 cards. This, I mean, we do some rounding, so I'm not sure if this is, actually, hang on. Whoops. Okay, no. 20 is just better, because look at this chance for optimal hand. With 20, you've got more of a chance for the optimal hand. Alright, that was my video on my thoughts about live twins and how to construct the optimal live twin deck. Just for reference again, here's my one. I hope this helped you realize what live twins is great at, maybe how to play them a little bit, and how to construct your perfect live twins deck. Thank you, good luck to you.